Hi everybody, it's Amanda Fitterer, or you might know me as @Crafty and Creative Vibes. I hope that you're having a really great time at this amazing retreat. I am going to be sharing 3 cards with you today, and they all light up, so I hope you're excited. I hope you craft along with me, and I'll be in the comments, so feel free to chat with me there. Enjoy! Okay, so let's get started. This is an A2 card base. It's cut down to 8.5 by 5.5. This is 5.5 by 4.25, which will be just like lined up like that. And then this one is cut down to 5.25 by 4. So that will be our top layer, and we're going to cut our oval into here. I'm going to put this, now I'm going to put it up higher because I'm going to put my sentiment down here. So I'm actually going to tape it so that it doesn't move. Trying to get in the center there. Okay, I'm gonna go run this through my machine real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so this yellow tape, I reuse it over and over and over again. I just ripped a little bit of that, so I guess this was a newer piece of tape. I try to reuse them so that they don't do something like that, but this must have been a new piece. So I'm thinking that this is going to be strategically covered with some deer, so I'm just gonna not worry about it. And then I'm gonna use my little pokey tool. Get my frame out there. And we're going to use all of these pieces. They will all be glued onto here. So I'm just going to move the card base for a while because we won't need that. Okay, so we're going to do our background first, which will be on this piece here. So if you have a stamping platform, that's useful, but you could just do it with an acrylic block as well. And this is the Sunny Studio Scenic Route, or Route, I don't know. How do you guys say it? Route? Anyhow, we're going to use the trees here. And I'm just going to put my oval right in the center because I want to choose which part I want. I think I want to have the trees be right here. I still want to see the sky. I still want to see the hills. So I'm going to go right here. Ink that up. And I think I'm going to do that one more time. Okay, I'm going to clean my stamp off here. I don't know how you guys clean your stamps off. Oh no, did you see I just did that? And that's not going to be strategically covered. I could flip it over, you think? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's try this again. That's what happens when you ink it up twice, I guess, huh? Okay. Okay, so this is just a microfiber cloth, and then I have a sprayer, and I just spritz it just like that, and wipe it off. I know that some people have like the chamois, and they keep them wet all the time. I don't like the feeling of having something damp in my hands, so that is how I do it. It's worked for me for years and years, so in case you're looking for a different way to clean your stamps, you can always try that. Next up, we are going to, since we already have the Misty out and the inks out, let's go ahead and do our little reindeer. So this is the Sunny Studio Reindeer Games. And if you're going to do this with me, I'd love it if you use different deer so we could see all of them because they're all so cute. But I am going to use this one and this little one and this little one. He's my favorite. And then for the light up portion, we're going to light up one of their noses. And then there's these little ornaments that are just super cute. So I'm going to stamp those as well. And then I want just one of my deer to have on a little hat. Let me do this one. So I'm going to go ahead and ink these up. I use, I should probably put this out on for you, but I use a hammer mill paper cardstock now. I used to use something else. Catherine Pooler is my favorite, but she's been out of stock for a little bit and I needed some immediately. So I bought this from Amazon. My friend told me about it and it's such a really like smooth cardstock. So the Copics blend really well on it. And it's thick enough. It's not too thick. So I can always show you guys which one that is if you're interested. Okay, so now we can do our sentiment, which we're gonna put in the middle of here. This is from the same snip set. I'm just gonna do happy holidays from the whole gang. Okay, let me get this one. I have found that when you do sentiments, it's best not to push down really hard. It's better to just do like two layers of ink because when you push down, then you know, you flatten the actual stamp out and then it'll look more bold than you want it to be. So especially with these little tiny ones, I just make sure I don't press down too hard at all. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, so now we are going to color our seam and our reindeer. I'm going to use Copic markers. I know there's lots of good alcohol markers out there. I have Olos. I still prefer the Copics. I can't really explain why. Maybe that there's so many more colors, or maybe I got so used to them that I now know like my favorite Copic colors. So I gravitate towards the same ones. I think the Olos are really nice though. I think they blend really well. I know other people have said, are they sound is like Oahu or something that you can get from Amazon? I've heard a lot of good things about those, that they're more budget friendly. I just use my favorite Copics over and over again. So this is G02. I'm just going to color in my trees. Now, normally I would, honestly, I would spend more time on this and use more colors, but I'm sure you guys don't want to sit there and watch me color for an hour. So I am just going to use a couple colors. This is G00 and just get it done a little bit faster than I normally would because we have all those cute reindeer to do and this is in the background. So I'm not super concerned about how perfect it is. Okay. Okay, I wonder, I might do like ink blend this down here with, in the park, because I think that's kind of close. And I'm just gonna ink blend the bottom of it. And again, it's gonna be in the background, so it's not that big of a deal, but whatever peeks through, you just wanna make sure it looks, you know, cohesive. The best thing about this hammer roll paper is the blending. It just blends ink so easy. It doesn't get stuck and make marks. And this is also Catherine Pooler brushes. I think they're all pretty similar, but I am a brand ambassador for Catherine Pooler, so I use them all the time. I might just leave the sky white. We could come back to that, I think. See if we want to do something else. So now let's go on to our little reindeer. So I'm going to use these E's. I have E25, E23, E33, E31, E30, and then I also didn't get E50. I'm going to do E50 too. So I always start with the darkest first. I know that there's tons of ways to do this, and I've watched so many amazing videos on YouTube of, you know, artists that are really, really good with, the shadows and highlights and blending and using so many colors in a tiny little image. But again, I also don't want to just be coloring the whole time for our time together. So I'm going to try to do it as quickly as I can. So I'm just concentrating where the shadows would be, which would definitely be, on the back legs. I'm not going to worry about these little spots because I'm going to just use a white gel pen. So I'm not going to worry about if I bother them right now. And I actually had to look up deer to see what color their antlers are because I don't know, for some reason in my head, I never, I don't know, I never picture deer with antlers. So, and I'm not a hunter or anything like that. And we have deer all the time in our yard. I don't know, I never thought about what color they were. And in case you're wondering, they're like just the same color as the rest of the deer. So I will be using the same colors on their antlers. And I'm just going to focus like the highlights in the center of everything. I think it gives it a nice dimension. And it's just such a tiny little image that it's amazing how many colors you can fit into a tiny, tiny image like this. I hope you guys are coloring along with me so you're not just watching me color. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the antlers with this color mostly. So I'm going to go with E33 next. Actually, I'm going to do the antlers. I'm going to skip a color because they're so small. I'm just going to use 2 colors on them. Sorry, I'm going to use the next lighter color so that there's more definition between the dark and the light. Because sometimes when you have such a small space on here, if I went with just like a barely lighter color, then you wouldn't be able to see the dimension. Then I have to go back and add some more shading. So I'm going to go with E31 and finish off these little bodies. And then I'm going to do their faces. I'm going to make sure I stay in the same color family so that it looks good. It looks like he's all one piece or she's all one piece, and not, if I went with a different color family, like, I don't know, like the skin tone, it would be a little bit too much of a change. So I'm just going to use the same E31 that I'm using now. And then I think the E30. Okay, did I get everybody here? Yep. Okay. Oh, I just said I was going to use this color. I'm going to use this color for my shadow. I love this one. Is my favorite one. That's the one I said is my fave. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because his eyes open. He's making eye contact with me. I don't know. Okay. So let's do the little feet. I'm just going to do, like I said before, if it's such a small area, you have to use colors that are so far apart. Well, I shouldn't say you have to. I use colors that are really far apart. So this is N5, and then I'm going to go down to N2. Okay. I think I'm also going to do, so this guy is going to be my Rudolph. So his nose is going to light up. So I can do him. I'm going to put a hole in his nose anyway. Sorry, little Rudolph, but we can color him, his nose a little bit. That's RV29. And then for my other ones, I'm going to just stay with the, I think I'm going to go dark with the N9. I also do not know what color deer's noses are. So I probably should have looked that up before I started coloring. Okay, I'm gonna do their little ears. I'm gonna do their cheeks too. So a little bit of redness. So there are 21. What I'm doing here. And their little ears, which I'm sure are not really pink in real life. Let me grab R00. There we go. I'm just adding it around the cheek so it just blends a little bit. It's not so prominent. And then let's do their accessories. So Rudolph, he can have, so I don't really like typical Christmas colors. So instead of using the R's, I'm using RVs. It's just, I think it's subtle when you're using like this is RV29. It's so dark. So you can't really tell that it's not red. I'm gonna go RV25. So I'm gonna leave him red and white scarf. So sorry, this was G02. And then I'm doing G00. And like I said, normally I would probably use 3 colors for this area just so that you can see more, but I think I'm gonna do this guy RV29 as well. So tiny, I'm just using dots. And then I'm gonna do a hat. Oops, I just colored on myself. And then I'll probably end up getting that on the paper. Are you guys already making your Christmas cards? I don't know. Making them so soon is hard for me because I'm not really quite ready, which is also why I don't like to use the traditional colors. I feel like I'm never ready for Christmas until it's actually like December 15th. Okay, so I think those are good. I'm gonna add, I do want to add, even though it's gonna take more time, I like to add my little white highlights. So I'm gonna just do that really quick. This is the 10. They have like 8 and 5. I don't know if they have a 3. 10 is usually my favorite because you can see it a lot better. But sometimes if you're doing something really small, I do have a 5 that I use sometimes. And this is my favorite. The jelly roll is my favorite. I've tried tons. Sometimes it's hard to get them started. That's why I do that on my finger because it warms it up. And also I've seen if you like just try to warm it up in your hand and kind of like blow heat on the tip, sometimes it gets going. But I do keep, seems like when one doesn't work, the other one does. So I just keep a bunch of them on my desk. And then if one doesn't really work, I'll just use a different one. Okay, so now we're going to, I think, cut these out with the die cutting machine. So I'm going to use my mini die cutting machine. So I'm going to trim this down so that it fits in there. That way you guys can see what I'm doing, because my big one is over there and my little one, which I don't know. I love Heffy Diddle. I don't know if you guys noticed that she had to close down all these small stamp companies that just aren't able to keep up. It's just so sad. But this is my favorite one. I've used it for a long time. Okay, I'll let that dry. And then we're gonna poke holes in it after it dries. I would do the holes before, but it's impossible. I'll show you why I can't do the holes yet. Or why I can't do the holes before I glue them, because I use this little thing and I can't stick the little ornament in there, so I'm letting that dry. So, I need to make a little spot so I can see it, because I'm doing the 1/16, and it's really hard to see in there. I don't know if you guys can even see. Can't find my... Okay. And I'm doing this so the light shines through. However, depending on what kind of card you're making, sometimes you don't need to put holes in anything. It depends on how much light you want to be visible. Sometimes you can poke a hole and then use vellum over it. There we go. Oof. So I'm going to, I think, go ahead and glue my background and this. I'm going to go ahead and glue those. So I'm going to glue this one first, and then that'll help me. I use liquid glue. I know that people use tape runners and like the ATG thing. But I feel like I need the wiggle room in case I don't put it on there perfectly, that I can still move it if I need to. Like right now, just kind of scooching it around. So that's why I use liquid glue. And I use this little precision tip all the time. I never change it. And I just keep it, I keep the pin in it all the time. I don't think you're supposed to do that. But I feel like if you're crafting every day, which I do, I'm sure it's fine. So yeah, I just keep it in here, and then I keep it in my little glue holder, so that way it's always ready to be used. Let's see. Originally I was going to ink blend the bottom of this. I think that might be cute. Not the whole thing, just the bottom part of it, without bending it, hopefully. I'm definitely one of those crafters who just does and ruin things, because I'm just trying to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I want to do it. I don't have the time to make sure it's perfect. So I've definitely ruined pretty frames before. Okay, so is that even? Look, sometimes I need to slow down. All right, that's even, I think. Okay, so we're going to use foam tape on the back of that, but I'm going to use skinny foam tape. But when we get to the lighting part, I have to use like thick foam tape. So I'm just going to use this one, these little ones. Oops. Okay. I'm going to put my frame on first, because it'll help me see where I want to put my deer because they're going to be sticking like out of the frame. Like they're going to be behind the frame. I always leave one strip with the backing still on it so that I can place that down first and it doesn't stick, so I can keep moving it around until I get it. It won't be perfect, that's for sure. I was going to say get it perfect, but can't always be perfect. Okay, so I know this guy's going to be in the center. Okie doke. So this guy is going to go like here. So again, I have to make sure that his ornaments are inside the frame. And once I get them settled, we're going to mark for the lights. So I'm going to cut off this guy's legs. I know. Okay. So let me think. I want to make the marks first before I put them. If I put them there, then I can't make my holes in the background. So I'm just going to place them again. I'm going to go ahead and make my marks back there on my background so I can poke holes. So I use this pokey tool, and if you have like a foam pad or something, you can use that. I don't have a foam pad to poke. So these are foam, so I just use these, and who cares? It's just adhesive, so, and it works. Okay. So now that I have the start of the holes, I'm going to actually poke from behind because you won't be able to see it anyway. But when I put the lights in with the extra material, I don't know how to describe this, but when there's extra material sticking in the back, it's hard to get the lights in there. So I guess I can show it to you when I get to the lights. So now we can place our guys, but actually, let's get our card base first and make the marks back there too. Okay, so I'm trying to line them up. Trying to get it in there. Okay, let's do this guy. Oh, I wanted to put his feet in there. Okay. I also don't push down really hard on my adhesives, and that way if I do need to move things, they're still kind of movable. Okay, make sure he's good there. You look good there? Yeah, I think he looks good there. Okay. So now we're ready for the lighting. So let's see. We got this ready. We can do our lights, but I do want to figure out where we want to ship our push. So I think I'm just going to do, I was going to put a push over here, but I think I'm just going to put a push here. So Parablossom Press has these, so I could put like a little push over here, but I think because I like how symmetrical it is, if I do that, it's going to drive me crazy. So I'm just going to put it behind here. So I'm going to mark that area, general area in the back, so that I can see this is where I need to put my button. So I'm doing twinkle lights, but the easy lights, the regular easy lights that stay on would be good too. If you did a one light, you could just do like his nose, and you could put it just behind his nose or just, you know, behind one of these, whatever. So you could do any of them. I am doing twinkle lights because I think they're cute. So you just have to tape this part here. So I put this battery in there. It comes with the batteries though, so it just, you can even send it without the battery in it. You could put like a little pull tab, you know, like the when you go get a toy and you have to pull out that little tab. I've done that before if you're sending it to somebody, so that way it's not being pressed the whole entire time. So, okay, so I'm just gonna put this here. It doesn't matter where you put it. And then I'm going to start taping down my lights where I need them to go. I'm going to just tape down all of them right here. Let's see. So you do have to turn them like to make sure that they're facing up. Depending on what kind of card you're doing, first we need them to be facing up. So where did the other guy go? There he is. So they're just, wires, so they're really easy to move around. So I try to I don't know if you can see, I try to let them come up a little bit more. That way they're closer to the front of the card because you have to put foam tape down and it's, the foam tape is it has to be thick because of this. So it has to be, whatever foam tape you use has to stick up farther than this. Otherwise your button will stick up all the time. So this is the world's best foam tape from Pear Blossom Press. It is literally the world's best foam tape. It is my favorite. I will never use anything else because the backing, well, it's the perfect height for the battery. But when you remove the backing, it's so easy to remove it. And I'm sure you've struggled where you're making a card and you're like, I can't get it off, I can't get it off. And this one is so easy to remove. You will see in just a minute. Sorry, it's probably a weird angle for you guys for the foam tape, huh? It's awkward because it's a big roll. Okay. Good. And then I'm just gonna do a little tiny piece here. I cut that one at an angle, so here we go. Right there, just so that the button is, so you put it close to the button. That way it doesn't accidentally get pressed down. Okay, use you right there. So we got that already. So we're just gonna test it real quick. I'm sure it's perfect, right? Oh, look, you can see him, it looks so good. Okay, this guy doesn't look like he's perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna remove the backing, which is so easy. Like I did before, I'm not gonna remove the backing so that I have some wiggle room. Right here. And it has to be perfect, so I'm gonna stand up. It has to be perfect because those little holes are so small. So don't mind me if this is a weird angle for you guys right now. Okay, I think that's perfect. Yeah. So I'll move the backing. These are the other ones. And it's done. Isn't that so fun? So for this other part, I went ahead and already did all of the coloring and stamping and cutting out my cover die. So I just want to show you, I used Penguin Party from Sunny Studio. This little tree is from Snowmen and Sweaters. And then I used the houses from the Scenic Route or Route, whatever we decided on. And I also used the trees again. And then this cover plate is from Catherine Pooler. It is called Count to 6 cover plate. So we're going to do a one light on this one. So we're going to make the star light up on the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it out how I want it to be. And then I'm going to stamp my push button. And then, because I can't put anything on here first, because I want it to go straight onto here. So I'm going to show you guys how I have it laid out. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put this little guy here, this little guy here. he's going to be putting the star on the tree. So I'm going to prop him up on a little gift so he can reach. So here's my star that we are going to light up. So I'm just going to try to figure out exactly how I'm going to have him light up here. So I think like that. And then I'm going to put the push button here. So the one light, this one light is from the Halo combo. So the Halo is going to be the last card that I do. It uses this, but it also comes with these guys. Now there is one lights separately that you can get, but the positioning is different. So because I want to put my push button over here, it needs to be long enough. So you'll see that will work. But if I use one of these smaller ones, it won't reach far enough over. So it depends on what you're lighting up and where you want your push button to be, which one light works better for you. Okay, so I know I'm going to put it right here. So I'm just going to mark about right here. I don't want to, I'm going to have to erase that afterwards, but Spellbinders also came out with these little clear stamps for the light up cards. So I'm going to use these. Pear Blossom Press also has some. I just like these as well, so I want to show you those. So we're going to go ahead and stamp a button, push button. Not sure which one I'm going to do. Maybe push me, press me. I'm going to do push me. Okay. Get that on there all the way. Okay, I think that looks good. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. Okay, I also wanted to do some like snow all along the background with this Cosmic Shimmer fluffy stuff, white fluffy stuff. So you dab it on there and then you heat it with a heat tool and it puffs up. So I'm going to set my card up again so I know where to put this the houses. So we can glue those down and that way I can do the snow along the entire background. I don't think I'm going to put it on any of my other stamped images like the little penguins. I'm just going to glue here and just kind of slide it in, I think. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't need to be perfect. I know that. I think it's because this piece is a little bit longer than the this cover die, which is fine because we can just cut it off in the end. Cut off any extra. Okey doke. That looks straight. Okay. So I'm going to do just some dots all around. Okay, so I dabbed the fluffy stuff all over. I did some bigger dots, some littler dots, and I don't know if you guys can see that. So now I'm going to heat it up with my heat gun. Isn't that so fun? It looks, you can see the dimension, I think. It's so cool. Okay, so I'm going to do my tree about here. I'll probably do it a little bit hanging over the frame, like about right there. And then this little guy on his present there. He needs to back up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'd say it's going to be about right here. So we can go ahead and cut a hole or poke a hole, punch a hole. So I'm going to use the same strategy that I used before to poke my hole, because I don't have that hole puncher. This hole I could actually make a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to use a paintbrush to make it bigger. So we're going to grab the card base and mark our light and our push, and make sure that we can get this. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, sorry if I just blinded you, blinded myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my tape to place that light there. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to glue the star to the penguin, because I need the star to be propped up, because these are propped up, so it looks like it's not in the background. So I need it to be sticking up like that, but I can't put 3D foam squares back here because then the light won't shine through. So I'm just going to glue it directly to his little hand. Okay, so this one is just if I had the time to show you guys, if the other one didn't run over. So I basically got it all ready. So I got this beautiful wreath from Sunny Studio called Winter Wreaths, and then the halo light, which is this guy, and then I created circles with these. So any circles will work though. So it just has to be a 2-inch circle for this to work, and you just put it on there like so. So I'm going to I already put the little tape on the back of it. I'm just going to stick her on there, but I want the button to be in the center of the card. Okay. And then I'm going to put the tape behind this. I'm going to do that off screen so that you don't have to wait. Okay, so I have my tape ready, and I'm going to just line this little thing up with the light and the base and everything. And then do the rest of my backing, and then just glue this on here. Wait till you see how fun this is. Okay, isn't that so cool? So here are our 3 light up cards one more time. We have our twinkling lights, we have our 1 light, and we have our halo light. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I hope that you enjoyed making these light up cards with me, and I will chat with you in the live wrap up session.